Holiday season is just around the corner, and maybe it's time to finally upgrade to a PS5 if you haven't already. I was in the exact same position. I got my hands on a PS5, brought it home, and thought, where are the games? So I signed up for PS Plus Extra the next day, and I've been busy the past 3 years playing a new game almost every week. There are so many games in here. I've played hundreds of games, so you don't have to. I've saved you the trial and error, and I've narrowed it down to my top picks. But because a random YouTuber's opinion means nothing in the grand scheme of things, especially a small-time YouTuber, I've sorted these games by your scores, the user scores. Unlike all the other videos on this channel, we're not using Metacritic ratings this time, because let's be honest, the users and the critics don't always see eye to eye. So if you're new to PlayStation, this video will be a gold mine you'll keep coming back to. But if you've already played all the big first-party PlayStation Studio titles, this video will still expose you to some hidden gems as well. Plus, I'll add some random facts, so you might learn something new about your favorite game. Half of the list is first-party titles, and the other half is split between graphically impressive third-party blockbusters and underdog indies who even beat out the AAA studio scores. So grab a drink and a snack and watch this during your lunch break. All the hard work you've been putting in will be worth it because you'll have something to look forward to. If you're enjoying the quality of the video coming from such a small channel, subscribe and join our community. I've put 30 hours into this video and it's not sponsored by anybody. So let's start with one of the most popular PlayStation titles and probably one of the best video game stories of all time.
Light on the reading, but it's got some interesting photos.
Ellie, that ain't for kids.
Whoa! How the hell would he even walk around with that thing?
Get rid of that.
Well, hold your horses. I want to see what all the fuss is about. Oh, why are these all stuck together?
The Last of Us is an action-adventure survival horror. It is a third-person stealth and combat game where you escort a teenage girl from the east side to the west side. This is a post-apocalyptic America that's overrun by zombies. Wait, we can't call them zombies. Fungal infected creatures, spores, and mind-controlling mushrooms. This looks like a fun guy. It seems far-fetched, but it's based on a real thing, actually. And also, more dangerously, hostile human survivors. This was groundbreaking emotional storytelling that elevated video game narratives to cinematic levels. Joel and Ellie's relationship became a benchmark for character-driven storytelling in video games. It won so many awards that it finally proved to non-video gamers that video game storytelling is the real thing. It's even better than actual shows. We finally got that validation. Gameplay-wise, it's all about survival. You can choose to fight off enemies, but you're gonna run out of ammo. So although there's plenty of shooting in this game, The Last of Us shines when it's played like a survival stealth game. Even melee weapons break after like 3 hits. So it's not worth engaging in every fight. With a Metacritic score of 95 and a user score of 9.2, it is clear both critics and players love it, which is a rare thing to happen. Personally, I think it's one of the most emotionally engaging games. Like, this game makes you cry within the first 15 minutes. I beat it for the 3rd time last night, and I literally clapped when it was over. Like, it's such good storytelling. It's the kind of story that sticks with you. You'll still be thinking about it when you're an old man sitting at the bar, drinking a shot of gin or a glass of sake. Ghost of Tsushima is an open-world action-adventure game set in feudal Japan. You play as a samurai fighting to protect his homeland from a Mongol invasion. The story is basically about whether to honor the samurai code or fight dirty to survive. The game is visually stunning, even on the PS4. Not necessarily because of the graphics, but because of the art direction. So many times in this game, I've just had to use the camera mode to appreciate my surroundings. Gameplay-wise, it's all about melee combat, emphasizing parrying and dodging. You get to switch between 4 combat stances depending on who you're fighting. You also get Ghost Weapon for stealth assassination and takedowns, if you choose to fight from the back and not be honorable. It's an open world game, so there's lots to do aside from the main story. Collectibles, side quests, mini games. Some would argue too many things to do, but no one's forcing you to do them all. With a Metacritic score of 83 but a user score of 9.2, it is a perfect example of players loving a game even more than the critics expected. Personally, I have found the open world to be mesmerizing. It's the kind of game you can get lost in for hours. It is just so pretty. It's like an Assassin's Creed game if it had any style. Ooh. Sorry, Ubisoft.
Do not be sorry. Be better.
God of War is an action-adventure game that's been reinvented with a deep story-driven journey. You play as Kratos, who is now a father, navigating the world of Norse mythology this time. Unlike The Last of Us, this is not an escort mission. Your son is a fully functional combat companion. The combat is weighty and visceral. Your axe comes back to you. It's straight out of Marvel. It's like Captain America and Thor combined. There's lots of shield blocking, epic boss fights as usual, and also bare fist brutality. You're mainly fighting melee and throwing the axes, while your son provides range support with his arrows. The story blends father-son drama with mythological adventure. Kratos must teach his son the meaning of responsibility, honor, and courage, all the while uncovering the secrets of the Norse gods. It is both epic and intimate, balancing quiet emotional moments with larger-than-life battles that we expect from the God of War franchise. With a Metacritic score of 94 and a user score of 9.1, it's clear why both critics and players praise it. Every fight, cutscene, and dialogue moment feels meaningful. You don't really feel like you're grinding in this game. God of War is an essential PS5 experience and the perfect title to start your PS Plus Extra journey. After those 3 huge PlayStation blockbusters, let's switch to something that refined an entire genre. If you've heard of the term Metroidvania, it is because this game perfected it with mainstream success, spawning many copycat games since then. Hollow Knight is a challenging action platform and Metroidvania. You explore a vast, hand-drawn, interconnected world, uncovering secrets, fighting bosses, and upgrading your abilities, and backtracking through previously unreachable areas. You're a silent knight exploring the ruins to uncover the kingdom's mysteries and the infection plaguing its inhabitants. The combat is tight and precise, and the exploration rewards curiosity. You gain new movement abilities to access previously unreachable areas. You also get to customize your build with collectible charms. And the death is similar to Souls-like games, which means that when you die, you have to go all the way back to where you died and retrieve your currency or you'll lose it permanently. The game is praised for its precise controls and over 40 boss fights. It's a massive interconnected world with, if you want it, 150 hours of content. With a Metacritic score of 90 and a user score of 9.1, it is one of the best indie adventures ever made. Challenging, rewarding, and endlessly replayable. If you've never played one of these games and you have the time, this will be your special place.
This whole town was our special place.
Okay, this next one is brand new to PS Plus Extra as of a few days ago. Silent Hill 2 is a survival horror remake of the classic psychological thriller from PS2. It is third-person exploration and combat through a fog-shrouded town filled with nightmarish creatures and disturbing symbolism. The first thing you're going to notice about this game is the mud. The fog is cool, but wow, this is the best mud I've ever seen in a game. This was rebuilt from the ground up with modern graphics while still preserving the original's oppressive atmosphere and psychological depth. This remake is similar to the modern Resident Evil games, where we now get an over-the-shoulder camera angle. There's multiple endings based on player choices and your behavior throughout your journey. The story's iconic. It's a haunting tale of guilt, loss, and obsession. James receives a letter from his dead wife, drawing him to Silent Hill, where he confronts manifestations of his own guilt, grief, and repressed trauma. The gameplay is deliberate combat with limited resources. We're talking about melee weapons and firearms against grotesque monsters. But there's going to be a lot of walking with mystery and nothing in between, especially in the beginning. We gotta build up the suspense. You solve environmental puzzles to progress, explore abandoned buildings, and manage health items carefully. It's mature psychological horror with atmospheric tension over jump scares. It is one of gaming's most emotionally complex narratives and loved by survival horror fans. With a Metacritic score of 86 and a user score of 9.1, fans clearly loved the modern update. It is the perfect game for spooky season. Because what's scarier than getting lost in a small town without a signal?
Hey, you know what never loses signal? Paper.
Okay, next we have Uncharted 4: A Thief's End, which is an old game, but it got remade in the Legacy of Thieves collection. It is an action-adventure game that is very cinematic. You play as Nathan Drake, a retired treasure hunter drawn back into one last globe-trotting adventure, filled with danger, puzzles, and epic set pieces as usual. It's an emotional, mature conclusion to Nathan Drake's story that explores themes of obsession, legacy, and knowing when to quit. The remake gives us modern graphics and insane loading times. Gameplay-wise, there's climbing, shooting, and stealth mechanics, with emphasis on cover-based shooting and puzzle solving. You don't really need to play the other Uncharted games. The main thing you need to know about Nathan Drake compared with the Tomb Raider games is it has humor. This balances the heart and high-stakes treasure hunting. It has very memorable characters, and Uncharted has some of the best jaw-dropping set pieces throughout exotic locales that you've ever seen. And also in this game, they've added vehicles. Play this if you want a cinematic blockbuster experience that's a bit more uplifting than the previous games mentioned. Once you get to know Nathan Drake in the games, you're going to realize why the movie adaptation was such a flop. With a critic score of 93 and a user score of 8.7, it is a must play. Celeste is a precision platformer about climbing a mountain, both literally and metaphorically. It has 2D pixel art aesthetics, tight controls, and instant respawns. The game surprisingly has a really good story. It is about perseverance, mental health, and self-discovery. The narrative is very simple but impactful, and it's woven seamlessly into every climb and obstacle. The gameplay difficulty can be brutal at times, with over 700 handcrafted screens that teach the mechanics organically without the need for tutorial. She climbs the mountain to prove something to herself while confronting a dark reflection of her inner struggles. You get to dash, climb, and jump through pixel-perfect platforming challenges. You die instantly, but you also respawn immediately. There's strawberries for optional completion challenges, and you will feel like a speedrunner after you've conquered this game. It's designed with care, but it rewards patience and skill. So play this if you love platforming, overcoming difficult challenges, both your character and you after you throw your controller, and emotionally resonant narratives about mental health. I know it seems silly to play a game that looks like this on your brand new PS5 with its advanced hardware, but this is the ultimate gameplay is more important than graphics game. Trust me, just give it 5 minutes and you will be hooked. It is the perfect balance of challenge and reward. With a Metacritic score of 92 and a user score of 8.7, I think it's one of the best indie platformers ever made. It's tough but fair with a story that sticks. Speaking of sticks, this next guy is always in a sticky situation.
True, but that's part of my charm, isn't it?
Marvel's Spider-Man is an open-world superhero action game. You swing through New York City as Peter Parker, fighting crime and taking on iconic villains in a living, breathing city. The remastered version for the PS5 has improved graphics, a performance mode, and all DLCs are included. The story balances Peter's personal life with superhero duties, giving depth to both characters and the villains. You'll encounter emotional moments, intense battles, and big cinematic set pieces throughout the city. The city is really the star of the show here. It is so fun to explore the city that you'll never use fast travel ever again. The web swinging mechanics are so fluid and fun. You glide across the skylines with ease. The fighting system adapts Batman Arkham's flow with Spider-Man's acrobatic and flying flair. There's plenty of side activities, including solving local crime, research stations, backpack collectibles, and even photo challenges. With a Metacritic score of 87 and a user score of 8.7, they finally agree. It's accessible for newcomers, but rewarding for fans of the comics and the movies. Alright, this next game, you're going to be asking me, why is this even on this list? The graphics are so bad. Undertale is an indie role-playing game with a unique twist. Every choice matters. I know every game says that, but here there's entirely different games based on your choices. This you don't have to kill anyone mechanics is revolutionary. Every enemy can be spared through a unique interaction. The game remembers your choices across the playthroughs, even after deletion. The characters are unforgettable with genuine emotional depth. There are 3 distinct routes that offer completely different experiences and different boss fights. fights. You can be a pacifist, neutral, or the genocide route. It is turn-based combat with bullet hell dodging minigame. You get to solve environmental puzzles, choose when to act and when to fight, and when to spare. And also there's a dating simulator here with a ton of humor. Beneath its cute retro visuals is a surprisingly emotional story about empathy, choice, and consequences. It has tremendous replay value because your choices actually matter. It's charming, quirky, and full of surprises. If you want to try an indie RPG that breaks the mold, Undertale is a must-play on PS Plus Extra. It has a 92 on Metacritic and an 8.7 user score. Sword of the Sea is an atmospheric adventure game where you play as a silent protagonist navigating a desolate, undulating world on a magical hoversword. Your mission is to restore life to a barren landscape by reviving its oceans. It's from Giant Squid, the same makers of Journey and Abzu. This was a day one drop for us in August. It's a third-person traversal-focused experience with zero combat. It combines snowboarding, skateboarding, and surfing physics for momentum-based movement across sand dunes and water. You dynamically open new paths by transforming the deserts into thriving aquatic environments with animals. You can still perform tricks while surfing the dunes, but the tricks are meaningless. The narrative unfolds through environmental storytelling with minimal dialogue, allowing players to truly immerse themselves in the world and its restoration. It's not for everybody, but if you've played Abzu or Journey, you know what to expect. It has a Metacritic score rating of 88 with a user score of 8.6. It's beautiful and relaxing. Alright, after those relaxing games, let's switch it into high gear.
Override loading sequence. 3, 2, 1.
Doom Eternal is a high-octane first-person shooter that redefined the genre. It perfected the push-forward combat philosophy. Instead of hiding behind cover and sniping things, aggressive close combat is rewarded. Defensive play actually punishes you. If you want ammo, health, or armor, you're gonna have to get melee kills and do finishers. This forces constant movement and weapon switching. The story is typical Doom fashion. Earth is invaded by Hell's armies. You are the Doomslayer. You'll be fighting across Earth, Mars, and even Hell dimensions to stop these demonic corruptions. It's lore heavy with Sentinel history and cosmic mythology, but you don't have to know about that. It's relentless action. The game runs beautifully on the PS5, one of the fastest and snappiest games I've ever played. It even has 120 frames per second mode. This delivers smooth and responsive gameplay that's unheard of on console. The soundtrack only intensifies the experience, making every battle feel so epic. This game is also known to be platform heavy, which wasn't a thing in the past, so this adds a sense of verticality and pacing variety. You can dash, double jump, and wall climb. In order to get good at this game, you have to master the resource triangle: chainsaw, glory kills, flame belch. When it comes to the boss fights and slayer gates, it will test you. So play this if you want the most intense, skill-based FPS combat ever designed, and you love slaying demons with metal music in the background. It has a Metacritic rating of 88 and a user score of 8.5. If you love the great graphics but don't want the intensity and violence, here's what's next.
Oh, between that and our new neighbor up there, we're not doing too fine.
Ratchet and Clank Rift Apart is an adventure game that blends platforming, shooting, and over-the-top weapons. It was released as a PS5 exclusive, showcasing the technical capabilities of the controller. This is one of my top 3 games that feels like a PS5 game. The other 2 are Returnal and Astro's Playroom. The game fully takes advantage of the hardware. The load times are virtually instant thanks to the SSD, allowing you to jump between alternate realities seamlessly. The weapon arsenal is creative and hilarious, from guns that turn people into pixels to massive rocket launchers. This makes the combat so fun and varied and opens up replaying the game in New Game Plus. I hate to talk more about the hardware in this game, but I have to. The DualSense haptics make every weapon feel unique in your hand. Here's the coolest thing. The L2 is 2 different buttons. There's fire and alt fire depending on how hard you press it. So when you click the L2, it stops midway and then you could click it again. This feature is never taken advantage of. Story-wise, we're introduced to a new wombat, a female, a riveting character who's instantly likable. Dr. Nefarious comes back and tears reality apart, scattering Ratchet and Clank across the dimensions. So Rivet is from an alternate universe where Nefarious won. So you have to combine forces and save the multiverse from collapsing. The gameplay is mainly fast-paced shooting with creative weapons and upgrades. So you get to grind rails, solve environmental puzzles, explore vibrant planets, and you even get hover boots that add speed speed and momentum to traversal. If it's not too challenging, there's arena challenges and collectibles that extend your playtime. Did I mention that this game looks gorgeous? It looks like a Pixar movie. It has heart, creative weapons, and is a perfect demonstration of next-gen gaming potential. If you want to see the PS5's potential, and you like fast-paced action and creative weapons, this game's for you. It had a Metacritic score of 88 and a user score of 8.5. Highly recommend this one. It's not too long and it's not too difficult.
Welcome back. The monumental awaits the above.
Demon's Souls was a PS5 launch title. It's a remake of From Software's 2009 PS3 original. It's a third-person action RPG that helped birth the Soulsborne genre. It has punishing difficulty with methodical combat and interconnected world design. It's known for its massive bosses that demand precision and strategy. This is the game that started the Souls-like genre. We got stamina-based combat, risk-reward death mechanics, and cryptic storytelling that defined a generation. It's been remade from the ground up with stunning visuals, ray tracing, and 4K 60 FPS option while preserving the original brutal soul. You learn from each death. It's about pattern recognition over button mashing. The DualSense haptics make every parry and spell feel visceral, making your victory feel truly earned. The atmosphere is haunting and immersive, drawing you into every corner of the kingdom, where there's probably somebody waiting for you. The story is minimal but effective. The kingdom has been consumed by a colorless fog after the old one is awakened. You're a lone warrior navigating 5 corrupted Arkstone worlds, slaying demons to collect their souls and end the scourge. It is a true test of patience, skill, and strategy. The gameplay is mainly methodical melee or magic combat where timing trumps speed. You have to manage stamina for attacks, blocks, and dodges. If you die, all your souls drop, and you have to run all the way back to where you died so you can reclaim them. The boss battles will demand your patience and pattern mastery. So play this if you want the definitive Souls experience with next-gen visuals. This is not for everybody, it's for people who crave challenging combat that rewards skill and patience. Or you need to experience where the Dark Souls began. It had universal acclaim with a Metacritic rating of 92 and a user score of 8.4.
Okay, that was pretty cool.
Final Fantasy is the essential PlayStation experience. The remake is a reimagining of the 1997 classic game. Final Fantasy VII Remake Intergrade is the PS5 reimagining of the PS4 game. It's not a sequel, it's basically the PS5 version instead of the PS4, plus it has additional chapters. But this isn't the whole entire game. Even on the PS1, Final Fantasy VII came in 3 discs. This is the reimagining of the opening act. It replaces some of the turn-based system with real-time combat, while still honoring the original's DNA. It transformed the classic JRPG into a modern action masterpiece while respecting the source material. Midgar expanded from 5 hours to 40 plus hours, with deep character development. The stunning visuals showcase PS5's power, with ray tracing and instant loading. There's themes of friendship, sacrifice, and corporate oppression. The gameplay is explained as real-time sword combat with tactical menu pausing. So you get to pause the game and use abilities and items. You can switch between party members mid-fight. So play this if you have the time and you love action JRPGs with depth and you want to see these stunning PS5 visuals and performances. This was known as gaming's most ambitious remake. It's a masterclass in modernizing a classic. It has a Metacritic score of 89 with a user score of 8.4. I was originally going to put Prince of Persia: The Lost Crown here, but we already have a Metroidvania. What we don't have is a roguelike. And the next one is a roguelike Metroidvania. Now let's just pause to explain these terms. A roguelike means that every time you play, the levels change, like a magic maze that rearranges itself. When you lose, you have to start over, but you get a little stronger each time. A Metroidvania game means you explore a big world where some areas are locked at first. As you find new powers or abilities, like double jumping or breaking walls, you can go back and reach those places you couldn't before. So a roguelike Metroidvania is both a changing world full of secrets, where each one feels different, and the more you play, the more you can unlock and discover. Which brings us to Dead Cells. Dead Cells is a roguelike Metroidvania with permadeath and procedurally generated levels. It's a 2D action platformer where each death starts you over but unlocks permanent upgrades. It's fast-paced combat meets exploration with ever-changing dungeon layouts. It's all about unlocking skills and abilities to make the next run easier. It is highly replayable with tight combat, fluid movement, and a wide variety of weapons and abilities. You dash, roll, and slash through tons of different enemies. The branching paths lets you choose difficulty and biome routes. There's over 100 weapons and skills. This creates endless build variety. The story is minimal. You're a sentient blob of cells possessing a headless corpse in a diseased island kingdom. My favorite part of the storytelling is running into characters from other games. Yes, that's right. This game not only references other games, but you can use the weapons and abilities from those other games in this game and combine them all as well. At one point, I had 3 different games' abilities on my character. As you defeat enemies, you collect their cells, and then you use these cells to unlock permanent upgrades between runs. If you enjoy challenging gameplay, procedural level design, and mastering a variety of combat styles, this is a standout gem on PS Plus Extra. With a Metacritic score of 89 and a user score of 8.3, personally I think it's one of the best modern roguelikes. It's satisfying but tough and endlessly engaging. You can play it forever. So there you go, whether you just unboxed your PS5 or you've had it sitting around waiting for the right moment, these are some of the best games you can play right now on PS Plus Extra. We've got emotional stories, brutal challenges, pixel perfect indies, and cinematic adventures, all just a download away. And honestly, even if you only finish a handful of them this whole year, you will still have gotten your money's worth. If you're curious about the games that didn't make the list but still have a high rating, I have good news for you. By becoming a member, you get access to this huge spreadsheet of every single game that is on PS Plus Extra that has a score above 70. So not only do you get the 90 plus, 80 plus, you get everything almost. I avoided listing the shovelware. So play the ones from this video right now and you will be satisfied. Thanks for watching, and until next time, be a friend and I'll see you again.